Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in today. We actually are going to have our very first guest, and his name is Kevin Smith. Kevin is actually a professional house hacker here in Denver, Colorado. He likes to consider himself kind of like a house hacker, flipper, community type of investor. Let me know what you guys think, all right? Let's go. Kevin, thank you so much for being here today. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how you do your house hacking and why it's so different from how everyone else does it?
Sure. Well, I got intrigued by it just like everyone else, just by kind of realizing the power of owning real estate. The thing we've really done differently and that I'm really proud of is what I'll call I call it hack with a flip of community. But, so hack's that kind of first section, right? With a flip, which I see as kind of a question later, but with a flip is kind of maximizing that whatever money we put into it for either maximizing rentability or maximizing utility for the residents. Because what I'm getting at is community is the big thing we've landed on as far as our niche and then building a kind of family and team environment, whatever you want to call it. But it's very, very important because what we're essentially trying to do is kind of flip the script on the traditional tenant-landlord constant friction, and we try to just reset the tone right from the start. Obviously, this started in house hacking with me living in the properties, right? And then you kind of able to build that tone, but as you've evolved out and you move out of them, that's when it comes real important to kind of figure out that rhythm and that environment and that culture that you want to instill and who's left behind that can help you instill that.
When you're out of there.
Yeah. Right. We do that in a lot of different ways by just cultivating two-way communication right off the bat, by being really open with that it's an active investment and that, we try to find people that would potentially be interested in learning in that. Another thing we do differently is month-to-month leases, which a lot of people are like, whoa, isn't that crazy turnover and whatnot? And there is at times, but part of our process is the roommates are really involved in the search. I do the original screening calls, from my phone and kind of have my prelim tests. And then I kind of send it to the roommates. And there is a key roommate who, I kind of call him the running back in my analogy. I'm the head coach. We kind of have a internal quarterback that maintains the culture. In one example of the house, she's just been there the longest. She knows how everything works and what I expect and just kind of instills that rhythm and everything we're looking for. And I compensate them a little bit, reduce their rent a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, there's certainly a little bit of, and I share that with everyone in the house because I don't want that to be like hidden, but we do that over family meals, which is our main, I guess, unique factor as far as it's become part of our screening process, which is really critical. Are you willing to take the time to just come and meet these people that you're going to live with? Because it is a co-living environment. One of the houses is 6 people with no owners in it. We want just the whole environment to be real supportive of each other and just there as kind of the household. And we want it to feel like you're coming home, not just to a place that you rent with the couple downstairs.
Do you guys do family meals every night?
No. We try not to bring it in as this like super required thing. The right fit is just going to naturally kind of fall into that. It's usually at least once a week. I think it's a crucial part of just, instead of resentment building up, instead of confronting someone at a less than ideal or awkward time or coming at them with usually a reasonable request, but sometimes that just inner roommate conflict is what ripples things out. It just creates an environment to discuss things, to actually come together as a group.
So it's like a family environment. You push the family environment more so.
With the month-to-month thing, with the house hacking thing, we have a lot of people who are unsure about Denver, if they're
in transitional stages.
That's a good way to put it. And it's so, I can say with so much confidence at this point, you should really come check this place out if you're looking for a home, because we have people say that all the time, and then 2 years later we're hugging it out, thanking each other, for having a great place to live.
So do you use any third parties to run any background checks, any credit score checks?
Yeah, so we use mysmartmove.com for credit screening. It's powered by TransUnion. I pretty much assure everyone that I can't have violent history.
No murderers.
Right, or
Okay.
even just a charge of domestic violence or anything that shows, you snapped at one point. It's just not. It's just it's not like the perfect environment for that. And I'm completely open and honest with everyone about that. And Stessa, we love. That's what we use for accounting and management.
Okay.
That's like a free QuickBooks specifically for real estate investors.
Okay. I want to ask, where have you found all your properties? Agents, wholesalers, yourself, private parties?
At this point, I would absolutely recommend professional guidance and that it makes the whole process much easier as opposed
Someone to have your best interest.
Right. Yep. And just someone who really understands what you're trying to accomplish. Right. Sure. I think that's the best interest line is kind of the one you hear, but what I'm really looking for is someone who understands and the little buttons to push to get things done, the little gray areas that are acceptable.
You prefer agents that work with investors?
Yes. And yeah, it's a powerful resource to have. For sure.
Totally. I mean, I agree, but I didn't force him to say that. Right? So I want to ask long-term, this is the last question. Mm-hmm. Long-term, where do you see yourself at with your house hacks 10 years from now? Are you still going to be house hacking, as you're kind of growing up and Airbnb?
Yeah, so I hope to build a community. I hope to build a community of people who believe in the same thing as I do as far as that house hacking is, if not the most powerful, a very powerful way to launch yourself to what I call true wealth, which is time plus happiness plus human connection. Mm-hmm. So time's the big one there as far as money, which is what people usually think of when they come to wealth. But I really think what these do is kind of free you from some of those financial burdens and get you thinking on the investment type, entrepreneurial type avenue. Do I see myself buying homes as primary residencies in 10 years? No, because I'm going to have hopefully enough assets to work with. But do I see myself creating great spaces to live for more than one person, one family? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I do see myself helping a lot of people realize this. And I certainly think house hacking is the greatest launching point to craft creatively what's going to work for you in real estate.
Totally. Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Kevin, for joining me today.
No, that was great.
This was awesome.
Yeah.